You know that feeling, right? That the sudden buzz of your phone, unknown number, and your stomach just sort of drops for a second, wondering, is this bad news? Especially about money.
Oh, absolutely. That jolt of anxiety, it's universal. And unfortunately, it's exactly what criminals are banking on.
Yeah. So today, we're doing a deep dive into something really specific, really pervasive, the IRS phone scam. Our mission here is to give you the tools, the actual knowledge to spot these calls, and just as importantly, how to handle them calmly, confidently. We're drawing on some great insights from a YouTube transcript by TaxAssurances. Ready to get into it?
Definitely, because these scams are so widespread, and honestly, they're effective for a reason. They hit you right where it hurts fear of authority, fear of consequences, and maybe most importantly, just the general confusion around taxes, how the IRS actually works.
Right. Most people don't deal with the IRS directly very often.
Exactly. So we're here to cut through all that noise, expose the scammer's playbook, and lay out the plain truth about IRS procedures.
Okay, so let's unpack this classic IRS phone scam. How does it usually go down? Kolonji Murray, from that TaxAssurances source, he mentioned something pretty striking. He hears from people hit by these calls like, what, at least once a month?
Yeah, at least once a month. That really shows you how relentless these operations are. It's constant.
So the phone rings, you pick up. What happens next? What's the script?
Well, first, they'll claim it from the IRS. That's step one, establish false authority. Then, almost immediately, comes the demand. And it's usually for a specific, often large-ish sum.
Like the examples given, right?
Yeah.
$3,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000?
Exactly. Round, scary numbers. But it's not just the amount, it's the pressure.
The urgency tactic.
Yes. They'll demand payment within the next day or two, sometimes even sooner, like hours.
Wow. That gives you absolutely no time to think, to verify anything.
That's the whole point. Short-circuit rational thought, force a panic reaction.
And then comes the really terrifying part. The part that makes people freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
The threat.
Mm-hmm. This is where they really turn the screws. They'll say things like, we're going to have the cops sent to your house. Or, straight up, we're going to arrest you.
Yeah, that threat of immediate arrest.
Yeah.
I mean, even just talking about it, you can feel why that works. It's public, it's embarrassing, it's frightening.
It is. It's psychologically very potent. Think about it. Unexpected. Huge debt. Impossible deadline. Threat of jail. It creates this perfect storm of panic. Your brain just wants the threat to go away now, so you might act impulsively.
Against your better judgment, even.
Absolutely. Your survival instinct kicks in, overriding logic. But here's the critical thing to burn into your memory. This whole scenario, the sudden call, the demand for immediate payment via specific means like gift cards or wire transfers, the threat of immediate arrest, that is not how the real IRS operates, period.
That's the fundamental difference then. So if that's the scam, what is the reality? How does the actual IRS communicate with taxpayers about money owed?
Okay, this is crucial. The official primary way the IRS initiates contact about a tax debt is through the mail, physical mail. As the source material points out clearly, they'll send a letter to you for a bill that you already owe.
Okay, so it's usually about something you might already be aware of.
Often, yes, like the example given. Say you filed your 2017 taxes and you knew you owed money but maybe hadn't paid it all yet. You get letters about that specific known debt.
Official letters on IRS letterhead sent to your address on file.
Correct. They send formal notices, often multiple notices over time. There's a documented paper trail. It's part of their legal process, giving you time to understand, respond, or appeal.
So no sudden out-of-the-blue phone calls demanding thousands for a debt you've never, ever heard of before.
Never. That is the absolute key takeaway. The IRS will never call out of the blue about an unexpected bill.
That's the red flag right there.
The biggest red flag. They don't initiate contact that way for a new debt.
It's like comparing getting a detailed credit card statement in the mail for charges you recognize versus a random person calling you, demanding cash right now for some mystery purchase, threatening jail if you don't pay immediately.
That's a great analogy. One is documented, expected, procedural. The other is chaotic, threatening, and makes no sense.
Okay, but what if someone doesn't respond to those initial letters from the real IRS? How does the official communication escalate then? Does it ever involve phone calls?
That's a really important point. Yes, the IRS does escalate, but again, it's structured, predictable. If you ignore the first letters, you'll receive more letters, more serious notices, like a notice of deficiency, or maybe a notice of intent to levy assets or file a lien.
Still mail, though.
Primarily mail, yes. They provide multiple opportunities to respond, set up payment plans, or dispute the debt through formal channels. Now, could a legitimate IRS agent ever call you? Yes, but typically only after you've received multiple letters, or if you already have an ongoing case or dialogue with them, maybe an audit underway, or if you called them first and are expecting a return call.
So context matters. It wouldn't be the first contact about a new, unknown debt.
Precisely. And they absolutely will not threaten immediate arrest or demand payment over the phone using things like gift cards, prepaid debit cards, or wire transfers on that initial call. That's scammer territory, 100%.
So if a call comes out of nowhere demanding immediate payment for something you don't recognize and throws around threats of cops and arrests.
Scam. Definitely a scam. End of story.
Okay, so knowing all this,
Yeah.
what's the action plan? The phone rings, it sounds like one of these calls. What is the absolute first thing you should do?
It's incredibly simple, actually. The source puts it perfectly. The best thing to do is just hang up.
Just hang up. Don't argue. Don't explain.
Don't engage at all. Just end the call. Hanging up is your most powerful first move. It denies them the chance to manipulate you, to scare you further. It cuts off their access immediately. You don't owe them an explanation or even a goodbye.
Okay, hang up.
Yeah.
But, that anxiety might still be there. As Kolonji Murray mentioned, you might still be really worried, kind of nervous. What if there is some issue? What if you did owe something you forgot about?
That's a totally natural feeling, that lingering doubt, what if? Especially when it involves the IRS.
So what's the next step after hanging up to get that peace of mind?
This is where you take back control. If you have any lingering concern, you initiate the contact. You call the official IRS number yourself.
Not the number that called you, obviously.
Absolutely not. Never call back the scammer's number or any number they give you. Look up the official number. The source provides the main one for individuals, 800-829-1040.
800-829-1040. Okay, maybe put that in your phone contacts right now.
Good idea. Call that number directly. Ask them if there are any outstanding issues with your account. They can verify your status legitimately. This way, as the source says, you can sleep at night knowing that the IRS doesn't have anyone coming to your house to arrest you because you have a bill.
Right. It puts the power back with you. You're verifying through the official channel.
Exactly. You're not reacting to fear. You're taking a calm, proactive step based on facts.
And what if, maybe in a moment of panic, someone did engage? Maybe they confirmed their name or address, or worse, gave out a social security number or bank details, or even paid. Hanging up is still step one, but what comes after calling the official IRS number?
That's a critical scenario. If you suspect you've been victimized or compromised, calling the IRS at 800-829-1040 is still vital. Explain what happened. They can advise you. Beyond that, you should absolutely report the scam attempt to the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, or TDT. They have a specific online form for reporting IRS imposter scams.
Okay, TAGTA.
Got it. And, very importantly, if you gave out personal information, you need to protect yourself from identity theft. File a report with the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, at identitytheft.gov. They have resources and recovery plans.
Identitytheft.gov. Okay.
And consider placing a fraud alert or even a security freeze on your credit reports with the three major bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. That makes it harder for someone to open new accounts in your name.
So hang up, call the real IRS, report to TGT and the FTC, and protect your credit. That sounds like a solid plan for defense and recovery.
It is. Vigilance and knowing the real procedures are your best defense against these incredibly common scams.
So let's recap the core takeaway here. We've really clarified the huge difference between how the IRS actually operates, using official mail for initial contact about debts, following clear procedures, versus how scammers operate using surprise phone calls, intense pressure, specific payment methods like gift cards, and those terrifying false threats of immediate arrest.
Right. Knowing that difference isn't just interesting information, it's genuine empowerment. It's your shield.
It really is. It lets you react with confidence instead of fear.
This whole discussion, it kind of brings up a broader point, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, think about how often we get information pushed at us, not just about money, but about all sorts of things that comes wrapped in urgency or fear, demanding an immediate reaction, threatening some negative consequence if we don't comply right now.
Yeah, that's true. High-pressure tactics are everywhere, not just in scams, sales, politics, even sometimes news headlines.
Exactly. And this IRS scam scenario is such a stark example of why critical thinking, and specifically the habit of verification, is so vital. That instinct to pause, to question the source, to say, wait a minute, let me check this out through an official channel before I react, that's crucial.
So it's not just about protecting your wallet, but protecting yourself from manipulation in general.
I think so. This whole deep dive reinforces the power of seeking out trusted, verified sources, whether it's calling the official IRS number after a suspicious call or double-checking a startling news claim with a reputable source before sharing it.
That habit of pausing and verifying.
Yes. In a world that often feels like it's trying to rush us into reactions, maybe the most powerful thing you can do is develop that instinct to simply pause, breathe, and verify. It applies far beyond just avoiding phone scams, when you say. Something to